Yo, and what's up? My next is Koby Hagen once again, and you still can see my face because I still haven't found my glasses. And you're welcome to my very first bar breakdown. This is going to be for educational purposes only. I want people to appreciate the penmanship, the emotions, and vulnerabilities attached to the writing of an artist. I basically don't want tracks to be slept on. I want classics to be called classics. So without much ado, let's go straight into this and I'll go talk chat. In this segment, I wouldn't focus mostly on the internal and the multi-syllable rhymes. Example is Elgh's first two lines. He talks about crooked mind and kicks a blind. There's a 3-syllable rhyme. I wouldn't focus so much on that because the audience is probably not interested in that. In this video, I'm going to break down just a verse. And I think the verse that does it justice is the Miss Fool's verse. I know, just relax. The Aliens fan is probably going to kill me for this, but then you just wait to the end of the video, then you probably understand why I chose this one. So without much ado, let's go straight into this.
These sweet 16s, they compete with the sweetest schemes. The sweet life seems like a reach, but the dream still screams. Yeah, I believe that. Been cut 1,000 times without believe that.
The first line from the Miss Fool verse seems like a positive thing, but it really isn't positive. We have words like sweet 16 and sweeter schemes that shows positivity, and we see words like pierced that bring the negative out of it. Pierced just means fucked. It basically talks about as you're a girl who come of age, guys go like chop you bob, and at that age too, there's a lot of influences, and if you follow these negative influences, these desires of your flesh, you probably fuck up your life because you probably smoke, drink or something and you fuck up your life. That's what she's basically trying to say. The next line talks about how her destination and aspirations or dream seems like it's impossible, but then with time it still surfaces. If you have not noticed yet, there are clear references to TV shows. We have Sweet 16, which is on MTV, and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which is a Disney show. It has ended, but they still show the reruns, and I'm sure that's why she cleverly talks about the dream still screens. This clearly indicates how she has been hurt multiple times, but then she harbors every single pain that happens or comes her way.
I don't need a reason to do it for myself. The rest of y'all can wait. See, first I gotta make sure I can eat, and then you get to play. They say they name me something, so you gotta pick it right. Okay, I pick 2 simple letters. Anybody, any time of day. This is not a face, dummy.
This whole part shows how she's grown individualistic and insecure. She doesn't trust anyone, so she puts herself first, because whenever she does the other way round, she gets hurt. So here she talks about her identity. Obviously, with these 2 lines shows that her name she used to have was pretty complex, so she chose something that's pretty simple for everyone to get used to.
Of a game to be played, pick your cousins if you're looking for your mates. I'm a strange, this is 800.
She talks about how this is not a game and this is the real deal. Here she talks about in choosing people to work with, that's your mates, you have to pick your cousins, that's people you relate to. This is a clear reference to DeMarcus Cousins passing to Steph Curry when he was on the bench. To be fair, as you can see from the video, it wasn't really his fault. She also talks about how she's lost close people, and this is certainly for sure. The close people could be actually relative, or they could also be a reference to the people who she gave her trust to that they fucked her over.
This is me in your face, made you look nasty, bitch. You can tell from the fake what you gain from it, what you gain from a name. If it's not what they call at the end of the day, what's your name, honey? Do they know who you are? Will they shout that you're second to none?
This is me in your face is a clear confrontation, and you can see she talks about she's nasty. That's a reference to she ain't nothing to be played with, and you can see from how he has her hairstyle made. Maybe she has a low cut, and in our society it means you're a bad girl. But this also is a very clear reference to Nasty Nas's song Made You Look, and I think it was really dope because that also probably explains that she physically appears or have the Nas hairstyle, the signature fade, and I think that was a brilliant way to talk about her physical appearance and tying into the concept of identity. Here she introduces you as the second conscience and asks thought-provoking questions, self-reflected thought-provoking questions to be retrospective and introspective. Talk about, is this worth it? At the end of the day, is she going to be recognized as one of the greatest? Is all her work she's putting in going to pay off? And I think it's a really great emotional transition considering frustration, identity, and depression and all those stages. I think this shows or really highlights the frustration even as an upcoming artist. So like I think this is really well written, and people are probably going to sleep on this verse.
And this man looked at me and said, look, if you want to be rich, spend time with rich people. Lummy, listen, how you think straight when you got a crooked mind? Every rhyme that I kick sublime. I'm sick of trying to make niggas realize I'm a... Shit. It's jump rope, I'm skipping lines, let's get it back.
So this verse starts off very, very chatty. He talks about how success is infectious, and then he starts his verse. He talks about how he has potential, and then talks about how at the end of the day he's going to be recognized as one of the greatest rappers in Africa. With the verse you get a lot of certainties, and even though there are low-key frustrations about how he is not blowing up right now, there's a lot of certainty that at the end of his legacy he's going to be recognized.
I've been down so many times. I've seen hell in the eyes of mothers. You cannot blow my mind. Story, don't you bother. There's no other. They gon' remember the name. There's no other. They gon' remember the name.
Chorus was sung by Feier. I'm hoping I said the last name right. So with her part, she introduced a lot of emotions, a lot of perspective on how people feel regarding the artist, talks about how the person sees evil in people's eyes, and also talks about how people have lost morals and lost their way. But regardless, the legacy will be inevitable. So she also says, or she highlights it, the moral part by saying, story, don't you watch now. And we all know story is a clear indication about how a moral story starts. So story, don't you watch now. Deny your morals. And I think it's kind of brilliant how she puts it.
Yo, I'm still an illest motherfucker to do it. Top 10 dead or alive, the rhyming is fluid. Check the way that I spew it, I'll be flowing like fluid. Then I build with the truest, I'm underground like sewers. You knew this, like all the attacks I kill beats, order your arrow.
So there's a verse by Recognize Ali. Let me start by this. Recognize Ali is low-key one of the most underrated rappers in Africa, period. Like, he's just so great, and I just don't get how come he's not on anyone's playlist. It's crazy. He's not even on my playlist. Like, it's so crazy. Recognize Ali cleverly weaves into the concept and talks about how he has good potential and how he is also the shit. He has clever lines like the Herod line where he references the beat as little children he kills. And he also has lines that you wouldn't probably understand because genius probably didn't spell some of the words right. He ends his beautiful concept by shouting out to manifest at the end of the verse. I have mad respect for this song, and I appreciate the emotions and vulnerability they share together. To me, this song was beautifully written. I have mad respect for everyone's penmanship on this song. The emotions and the way they weaved into each other's concepts were just beautiful. I don't think this was send your verse over kind of thing. I think they were all in one studio and they sat down to really make a beautiful song, and I appreciate the way this song was artistically crafted. I think this is beautiful. If I'm to rate the track, I'm going to give it a cool 7.8 out of 10 because it's that good. If you've not heard the song or not heard the album, slap yourself in the face because you really need to listen to the album. It's that good. So then take a listen, tell me what you think, give me your contribution down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and please like the video if you like it. And at the end of the day, if you want to communicate with me, follow me on Twitter, Koby Hagen. Peace out.
I heard the bitch talking anyhow. As soon as I drop it, she burn it down. You can't talk with your man anyhow. Sick of money, she cheat on you. Sick I emergency, I wanna lose. Second tune, but I wanna choose. Me pissy cat, I myself on the twos. I don't wanna die in the same shoes.